Hi everyone, my name is Kayeramos and welcome to my channel where I share tips. Oh my gosh, my baby is kicking me. Hi everyone, my name is Kayeramos and welcome to my channel where I share tips to help you gain clarity and purpose as you get closer to Jesus. So in today's video, I am very excited to share with you the one thing that I have incorporated in my prayer life and truly transformed how I pray. But before that, let's talk about prayer to provide a context so that you can further understand what I'm about to share. So we know that prayer is one of the means on how we can connect with God. There are so many examples and patterns of prayer that we can follow from the Bible, and one of the very famous and one of my favorite, of course, is the one taught by Jesus, which is Our Father. He went very in depth about it in Matthew 6 verses 5 to 13, and I shared how you can incorporate those tips that he modeled in this video right here. So in the Our Father model, we are very familiar in several parts that we often incorporate them in our own prayer. One model, for example, is the ACTS format, which is the ACTS, adorations, confessions, thanksgiving, and supplication. If you don't know what I mean, I shared more about that and other prayer journaling prompts in this video right here. I don't know if it's just me, but I missed one important thing here. It is very obvious in the Our Father prayer model by Jesus. He specifically said it. That means it is super important. And to be honest, I somehow included it in my prayers before, but it's not something that I intentionally pray each time before. And that one thing is praying for God's will. So if we look at Our Father, Jesus said it. This then is how you should pray. Our Father in heaven, hallowed be your name, your kingdom come, your will be done on earth as it is in heaven. It is very clear. It is in the very first part of the prayer after worship or adoration. That means Jesus is emphasizing the importance of including it in our prayer. Now, I cannot speak for others, but only for myself. Why is it that I did not include this in my prayer for a very long time? There are three or several reasons that I could share. When I was young, I was very self-absorbed or self-centered. I thought that praying is all about asking God about what you want. Another thing, I am used to praying ready-made prayers, those prayers that you recite over and over again even though you don't understand them. And also at that time, I had a very limited view of prayer. Now, those excuses might be understandable because I was not a believer at that time yet. But as a believer now, what is it that keeps me from praying God's will? I guess because of three things: fear, control, self-entitlement. Fear that what I want for my life is not what God wants for me. And so following His will would mean letting go of what I want for my life. Second, control, in a sense that I think I can plan for many things in my life, and if I pray for God's will, that would mean losing control and potentially disrupting my plans. Third, self-entitlement, in a way that I think I can present my request to God and then I am entitled to receive what I exactly prayed for. So in short, my very self hinders me from praying God's will because I am so self-centered and self-absorbed. Oops. Now, what was the wake-up call? If you've watched some of my videos before, you know that I'm a fan of prayer journaling. I have several videos about it, and I actually have free prayer journaling prompts for an entire year that you can download using the link in the description box below. So as I look back on my prayer journals, I noticed that there is one prayer in particular that is always there. I've been praying about it for years, for more than 5 years, and it seems that God is not listening. I made several steps in progress toward its fulfillment, but every time I feel like I get closer, it feels like the door of all opportunity always gets shut down. And I shared more about that experience in these two videos. So as I look at those prayers, it dawned on me that maybe what I want is not what God wants for my life. And so by seeing it with a new perspective led me to seek God's truth. So one of the stories that truly opened my eyes about praying God's will is the experience of Jesus himself. It's in Matthew 26 verses 36 to 56 where he prayed in Gethsemane. Jesus knows what's about to happen to him, and just by reading the verses here, we could see how emotional he was. We could feel his anguish. He prayed 3 times for the cup to be removed from him. And when the Bible talks about cup, it usually talks about suffering or wrath of God. But you know what's amazing about this? After lifting up his request to God, he also prayed 3 times. Yet, not as I will, but as you will. So if you have not read that particular chapter, I recommend that you read it slowly and then observe how Jesus prays. By submitting to God's will, Jesus was able to embrace the suffering and persecution that came and eventually overcame death for us. Now, praying for God's will is not always easy because that would mean denying ourselves for what we want and for what we think is best for us. So I encourage you to look at your own prayer life, evaluate if it merely focuses on you. Maybe like me, you are scared to pray and submit to God's will. What became helpful is reminding myself that God is an all-knowing God. He will always provide strength so we can endure what we are about to go through. And the knowledge that He will always give the best for us even though we do not understand it at times. Now, my prayer life is far from being perfect. It keeps on evolving and I keep on learning. That is why I am very passionate about sharing and talking about prayer. So I have several videos about improving your prayer life that you can check out. And don't forget to check out the 52 prayer journaling prompts that you can download for free using the link below. So if this video inspires you, I would love it if you hit subscribe and hit that bell button because I talk or share about faith, journaling, and intentional living. You can also check out other videos right here. Again, this is Kayeramos. I appreciate you being here today. Thank you so much for watching. See you guys again next time. Bye!